So I came across this video on social media about this pastor and the things he had to say to his congregation. But before we get to the reason why he's apologizing right now, can we listen to his apology just to start with?
Good evening. My name is Carlton Funderburke. I'm the senior pastor of Church of the Well right here in Kansas City, Missouri. I want to take this moment to address the now viral video clip of me from a sermon given August the 7th, 2022. Though there is context behind the content of the clip, no context will suffice to explain the hurt and anguish caused by my words. I have spoken to those I am accountable to and have received their correction and instruction. I have also privately apologized to our church, who has extended their love and support to me. I'm privileged to do life with them. The video clip does not reflect my heart or my sentiments toward God's people, yet that's not discernible in the clip. Therefore, I offer this sincere apology to you today. No context could erase the words I used. I apologize to all who have been hurt, angered, or in any way damaged by my words. The zeal of any presentation must be tempered with love and respect, and that was not displayed. I apologize to the church at large for any undue scrutiny I have subjected you to. I apologize to every preacher and pastor who must stand up under the controversy that I have caused. To those who know and love me, thank you for your support. To those who now know me, because of this video clip, I regret that your first impression of me is one of anger, hate, and resentment. My actions and my words are inexcusable. I offer no justification or defense. That moment was mishandled and mismanaged. I deeply regret this moment, and I solicit your prayers and your forgiveness as we grow forward. Thank you. God bless you. Go with God, and He'll go with you.
Now, if you're wondering the reason why he's apologizing like this, if you have not seen the video, let me play for you the video right now.
See, that's how I know you still poor, broke, busted, and disgusted, because of how you've been honoring me. I'm not worth your Red Lobster money. I ain't worth your St. John knit. Y'all can't afford it no how. I ain't worth y'all Louis Vuitton. You can buy a Movado watch in Sam's.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
And y'all know I asked for one last year. Here it is the whole way in August. I still ain't got it. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Let me kick down the door and talk to my cheap sons and daughters.
Okay, now, here are some things I want to tell you right now after looking at this video. Now, of course, like many people that have discussed this, will start from the Genesis, which is more of like him or the things he said.
Good evening.
Which, for a fact, is a fact. You have to understand something, and I think I've said this many, many times. You see, the era we are in right now is not like the era of, I don't know, long generations before. You see, right now with social media, you are watching me from different parts of the world. You can tell me where you're watching me from right now, but I'm right here where I am, and people are connecting with my person or with my opinions wherever they are in the world. You see, one thing I love about the things he said in his apology was, number one, apologizing, of course, for what he said and admitting that in no context does what he say even fit, even though there was something that led to that. And if you watch the video carefully, his members were there cheering him on. Just like when maybe I bring out a video or a clip from maybe a 2-hour, 3-hour sermon, and I play it here for you, you hear even in the same video, the members are there nodding their head and saying, yes, Papa, amen, wonderful. The same thing was happening here. No one found an issue with it. But you see, what actually brought attention to his person and this right now is because media took it and added volume to it. Okay, no. Just for you to, before you start saying, okay, this is George issue, blah, blah, blah. Dr. Richie there in the US, I respect him a whole lot for his views and his show, one of the fastest rising shows there in the US. This is what he had to say with regards to this particular issue.
And daughters. I don't want to hear no more excuses about what y'all can't afford. You can't afford it because you don't see the value here. Y'all hear from y'all pastor and father, I'm over y'all. I'm over your cheap expressions.
That's called Jesus pimping. He delivered his sermon in the spirit of a Chicago pimp. All he cares about is the money that he can get from the congregants who are looking to him for leadership. Pastor, what you did was disgusting. I will not allow charlatans like you to define my faith. I hope your congregation realizes the man you really are now. The individual who spoke on that stage was adversarial to progress, growth, and spirituality. His name is Pastor, let's put his picture up, Pastor Carlton Funderburke of the church at the Well in Kansas City, who reaction to the negative press has now issued an apology video. All right, so he apologized. I'm not gonna play his apology video. You can look it up when you get a chance. I'm so sick and damn tired of these individuals manipulating congregations, manipulating good-hearted people that simply would like to be replenished and encouraged because of the stresses they face in the world. They get to a place like this, what does he do? He damages them even more, talks down to them, tells them they're broke, busted, and disgusted. No, sir, you are morally bankrupt, calling yourself a preacher and you have nothing to deliver. Yasmin, thoughts here?
I know we're short on time, but like, who goes to church to be spoken to that way? And why are these people looking to a guy like that for leadership? And a Movado, like, bro, just go buy your own and call it a day. That's it. None of this needed to happen.
Yeah, well said.
Okay, so that is someone there in the same community right there in the US speaking and reacting to this. So don't come for George right now. But you see, in my opinion, I would say that what he has done is very humbling. Not because he might be humble himself, but because of the attention that has been brought to something that happened or is supposed to have happened internally. But you see, if you're watching me now and you were a pastor, if you're watching me and you were a church leader, so far as you put out the things you do out there on media and you stand in representation to Christianity, you are subject to scrutiny in many ways or in any form. Whether it's from mainstream media, or whether it's from people like me that make commentaries about the things we see here, that you share yourself on social media. It could have been a smart thing to do that when he was talking about that. Maybe his media team would have cut that part off before posting it. Or maybe it was, if it was streaming live, oh, maybe someone caught it. But at least those themselves who are in that church, they know what happened. Maybe someone from the church that got displeased of those kind of words that had to post it or something. Of course, but look at the way he addressed those who are his church members. And yet still some people would call him spiritual father. If someone like this is your spiritual father, supposed to be someone nourishing you in the word and guiding you, and it has to be him sapping you like this of your money and addressing you in this way, would you still call that person father? Oh yes, I will hear some people say, can you talk to your spiritual, can you talk to your biological father like that? I know you see them in the comments. That is why you see things happen in the church and Christians cover them up. If this was not, attention was not brought to this on media, do you think he would have come out to sit down and apologize to his members, to the church? Because this of course now puts a beaming light on the church as well. Or maybe those or pastors that are affiliated to him. Now some people will now start judging him, okay, the way he looks, his hair and all that. Maybe that's the culture over there, so I don't even want to go into that. But he is the pastor leading a church. What point am I trying to make right here? I'm even sweating all the way. The whole idea of honoring him and then having to give him this, give him that. I've seen that happen even in the African setting here. I think it was last time that it was exposed by when Dr. 𝐲𝐨𝐿𝐿𝐿 was to have her birthday or something, and in a particular group of wives of pastors, they were all mandated and taxed to pay a particular sum of money, blah, 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 for the birthday of Dr. Lizzie Suleiman's. It is something here, in case someone wants to argue with me if what I'm saying is not true, just do that in the comments, and then I'm going to make a video about that extensively so you see what I'm talking about. But I just made reference to this because it's something that happened. But these are things, what I'm trying to say here is that these are things that should be happening internally. If he wants them to buy him a watch, amazingly well, hallelujah, you could just tax your people, but this is not the way you get to address your people in the public and all that. But things like this even happen in many churches as well, just that more attention has not been caught on that. And the way he apologized, that so sorry that people might know him for the first time because of something like this. I never knew him before, except that I saw this thing trending and I was like, okay, let me react to this, because these things happen even in the African setting where I come from. But I also have a question. Do you have situations like this where a pastor would see that clearly he's wrong, clearly something has gone overboard about him that is true and he admits it's true? Like the ones we have, think about the ones that are very scandalous we have talked about. Think about many of them that we have looked at here on this platform. How many of them have come out for once to apologize for the things that they have done? Or they know that it's true about them? It's because where I come from in Africa, it's more of like everyone mind your business in your church. It doesn't matter. Do your thing however you want to do. If you like, do this or do that. No one cares, but they have a body called, or we have a body called CAN. And even the pastors themselves, oh man, they feel like little gods on their own. Even if you don't apologize to the public, but at least you apologize to your church, because these things are true, they are facts. But yes, still, what you will hear, to kill you there, this and that, in the public, that's the pastor speaking, amazingly well. So even if what he said there, what he did there was wrong, for him to even come out and apologize, I think it's a good thing he did so. Knowing that this actually brings a particular image on the church, brings a particular image on his own person, whether he was speaking from the abundance of his heart or not. At least we have a lesson to learn here. And this is also a lesson for you also as a pastor if you're watching me. Today you might think that you are nothing. Right now as I'm talking, I'm making all these commentaries, I might think like, oh, nobody is watching me, but I know people are watching me. People are learning one way or the other from me. People are also criticizing me, like you see many people criticizing me in the comments. It's okay, it's amazing. But in the end, if there is a case where I have to come out and apologize for something, I apologize for it. Because in this life here, it's a race, we are all learning. But when pride takes a better part of you, that you see you are wrong, you have been exposed, this one, he actually exposed his own self. Imagine those that have been, that they expose themselves, they post this thing on social media, we pick them out and discuss about them. In my African setting where I come from, that's not how my people think, no. They would say, don't talk about them, don't question them, this and that. It's God that will judge them. Amazingly well, clap for yourself. But with the way I'm exposed, that's not how I think. That's not how my mind works. If you see truth, you speak it. To whomever it concerns, so far as you are speaking the truth, touched and anointed does not work on that particular aspect. You are speaking the truth that you have seen. It is well. I hope his church will get to forgive him. Of course, his church, his members were there when that was happening. I hope you get to forgive him as well for listening to him speak like that. And if your pastor speaks to you like that or in that manner as well, and you sit down there, of course, he is your father. And you cannot correct your father. But you see all the people I talk about here, they are neither my biological father or neither are they my spiritual father. You understand? I come here on social media, I see what is trending, I see what is happening here and there, I make commentaries about them. So I'm not under that your fatherism mentality for me to make commentaries I make. That's why I have to be the kind of person I am to say the things you cannot say. Because you would rather see things like this, cover them up and be like, oh yes, and tomorrow if these things are not spoken about like this, he might even become more empowered to do things like this always. So next time, if he wants to address his members like that, he will think twice because the media is watching. And I would advise you people, wonderful pastors that are following my page. If you want to do things like this off the camera, I see it happening in many churches. When they want to talk about money part, either they'll off the mic or they'll off the camera. I've seen it many times. I can show you examples if you want me to show you. Yes, it's something internal, but when you post things like this on social media, people pick them up. Mainstream even pick them up. God bless all of you. Bye-bye.